And we are live. So, welcome everybody to another episode of the Star Corner. And today we have an amazing guest, and I hope that you guys will be motivated after this episode. So let's get into it. Let's get the people on. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in here. Get it started in here. Let's get it started in here. I actually needed to play my music today. Get it started in here. Oh, getting it started. Second chance in the building. Okay, yeah, accept. Try to accept. Alright. Yo, bro. I'm good in yourself.
There's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, sort it out now. Give me a second. Connect you and we'll get started.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. Just connecting you.
You've still got feedback.
Yeah, I'm just connecting the ear speaker. I'll be here now.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for joining me. Welcome, as you know, the Star Corner with the lights behind me, and many of the people that are online have already seen, what you guys have been doing at Second Chance Trust, what you have been doing, just shining that light of encouragement and motivation to others. But before we get into it, just to add a bit more context to the interview, this is probably something that you've said over and over, like you said yourself, you told it 1,000 times already. But do you mind, for those that maybe don't know, just sharing a bit of your story so that we can, start from the beginning in order to get where we are now?
No, it's all good, bro. I think, just to cut it short, growing up, I was sexually abused twice, and I had ADHD. I was very hyperactive. I was a talented sportsman. My dad always tried to teach me to make the right choices, but, when you're a young boy full of testosterone, you think you know best. So I did my own thing, trying to act grown up, and I made many, many, many unhealthy choices for myself. I placed myself in healthy situations, trying to impress people, trying to fit in, trying to numb the pain inside of me. And I think I started drinking at the age of 14, causing trouble at school, got expelled in grade 10, went to Abbott's, made friends with the wrong people once again, started selling dacha at school, started experimenting with drugs, got involved in drugs and gangs, started smoking tick and buttons. And I think from the age of 16 to 23, I was arrested over 7 times, went to rehab 8 times, stole people's cars, credit card fraud, gold and diamonds. I did everything till I came to a place in my life where I was homeless, sleeping on the streets, sleeping on 3 crates in a cardboard box, injecting tick into my arms, given 3 months to live, washing myself out of a basin, pretty much had nothing left, just the clothes on my back. And that's where I realized I know I died at the age of 23, 24. And that's where I realized I needed to change my life. But it was going to be a massive uphill because I'd been to rehab 8 times. My dad had spent so much money on me trying to help me change for years, but I just couldn't. And I didn't know how, even though people were teaching me to and teaching me how. I couldn't take hold of what they were saying. And then I just had a revelation, bro, that there was purpose for my life, and the rest is history, eh?
So you say like you couldn't. There were so many. You've been to rehab 8 times. People were trying to show you the way. There's actually many people that are going through certain things and they don't know how to go about it. And there are people trying to put things about them and trying to show them the way. What is it that you think that made it that you couldn't, change at that time when people was trying to show you the way, trying to take you to rehab? What was it that made it that you couldn't change your life around at that time?
I think because I was addicted to drugs. I was addicted to drugs. I was addicted to escaping my pain. I was addicted to the lifestyle of being involved in gangs and running the streets and that adrenaline that comes with that lifestyle. I was addicted to many things. I was addicted to people. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it was that life was more important to me than getting better, if I'm really honest, because I'd found because I didn't know that I had a future. I thought I was going to amount to nothing. People told me you're going to die at the age of 23. They told me I'm a failure. They told me I'm a mistake, and that became my identity. So I thought, oh well, I might as well live a dark life that matches what I thought about myself. And it's only when I realized that there was a gift inside of me that I needed to allow out, and that God had a plan for my life. It was that shift that made me realize that my pain was actually a blessing and not a burden.
Awesome. And as most people know, you got to trust the process. Things just don't happen overnight. So
Yeah.
you realize that, you needed to now go about, you needed to change your life. What certain processes did you take? What did you do exactly to get that starting process to become the person that you are today?
I think the biggest one, and the one I love talking about the most, it's so simple but yet so hard. I began to speak. I began to speak about the things I was struggling with. We in society, we in life, we're living in reverse. We are meant to save money, we spend. We are meant to speak, but we keep silent. We're meant to love, but we hate. We're literally living in reverse. And I think when I started to speak about the things that I was struggling with, I began to grow, because as I spoke, I gained new perspective. I released the weight that was holding me down. And yeah, it just really helped me move forward, because for so long I was holding on to those secrets and those pains and those trauma situations that I went through. And I promise you now, there's so many people out there that are struggling with things that they aren't addressing, they aren't speaking about, and that's the reason why they're anxious. That's the reason why they're turning to drugs and the drinking, because at the end of the day, they're not addressing the very things in their heart. They're not getting rid of it. They're not dealing with it. And everything we don't deal with deals with us.
So true. I can relate, because today I was at a group session, and there were so many people that were silent and weren't speaking, and you could see it, that there was something hurting everybody there at that group session. And it's only at the end, when these people that were so silent that started speaking, started engaging, the person who was facilitating the group actually said afterwards, you could actually see the weight off their shoulders in that process. But we've spoken about, the part of speaking. Obviously, there's had to be a part of getting your features right, having to get a certain job or something. So where did you go about now? You had that mindset of starting to speak, but to get financially stable, to get yourself on your feet, that you could provide for yourself. What did you start doing?
Hey, bro, it's an interesting journey. So I met my wife in Sedgefield, and she said, we're going to be friends, and we're never going to get any further than that. I was very persistent. But at that stage, training to be a drug counselor, and that was my passion. I wanted to help people. I didn't realize that I was going to become a motivational speaker or preacher. But I came back to Cape Town with a big vision, with a dream to create programs and speak and coach and counsel. And then when I came back, I ended up selling Kirby vacuums and knocking on people's doors, selling alarm systems, ADT. That's how I started. So I had the vision, but this is what I was doing. And yeah, I think I just took the leap of faith. My friend and I, we started a business around similar stuff we're doing now. I think I borrowed 500 Rand from my dad. We opened the CC, and we started developing the very programs that you see today in Second Chance. But for the first 2 years, we did it for free, bro. My dad had to pay my petrol because my dad believed in the vision. So he paid for my petrol. He gave me, obviously I was living at home. They fed me. And for 2 years, we persisted with no pay. I think we got paid once, $500. We split it in half. We thought it was Christmas, bro. And yeah, and that's it. That's the journey, And that's why we were able to get to where we are today, because we didn't allow it to be about the money. We allowed it to be about the passion. And we were just privileged enough to have that space to do that, because not everyone's got that same opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Before I get on this light off, working on my nerves, I clicked the wrong one.
No, that's right, bro.
Ah, okay. It's better than nothing. Okay, so I wanted to say it's quite ironic that you were not selling alarm systems and you used to like break into, and wasn't there a part where you said you used to steal people's alarms or to sell them and that?
Surveillance cameras and gate motors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, bro.
And then obviously your father was someone that you speak about it. There's a hint about something I'm gonna chat about later. Your father was someone that believed in you. He helped you for 3 years. You were doing it with no pay. Obviously we're doing it for no pay, and we need money to survive. What were certain other issues that you maybe struggled? Was it ever in those 3 years? Was there ever a time of doubt? This is a waste of my time. It's never ever gonna work out. It's not going anywhere. And how did you overcome that?
I must be honest, I don't think I had much doubt in that space. I think the biggest struggle in that space for those 2 years when we worked for free building Second Chance was more around dealing with myself, getting to know myself, putting the things that I've learned into practice, just doing life. I think life is challenging by itself, and we're always facing difficult situations. So I think at the end of the day, it was more about getting to know the real self, pursuing my relationship with Christ, and trying to make healthy decisions on a daily basis.
Awesome. So you're speaking about Christ also. That's the question I wanted to get in, because many people that see your page, know that obviously you are influenced a lot by your religion. You minister at the church as well. Often in your motivational videos, you often bring God in it. How did God help you in your struggle and still helps you today on your journey?
I think at the end of the day, for me, it was God that opened the eyes of my heart. It's Him that gave me the revelation that I have a purpose. So it's not like I gave it to myself. When I was dying on the streets in Somerset West, sitting on those crates, injecting tick into my arms, something changed in my heart. It's not something I did. It's something God did for me. And He opened the eyes of my heart, and He made me realize that I have a purpose. And He gave me the strength to make that decision to get up off those crates and actually pursue a life that He had called me for. So I think at the end of the day, for me, it was Christ in me. It was God that gave me the strength to pursue the growth and the development and overcoming that addiction. And when I went to Serenity for the last time, I got to a place where I was just like, Lord, you have to change me because I don't want to live that life anymore. And that's where the breakthrough came and literally shifted everything. And I promise you now, from that point, I didn't crave drugs. I haven't craved drugs. I haven't desired drugs because there was just such a radical shift in me. It's almost like Saul on the road of Damascus. We had that moment with Christ and his whole life was shifted. It's something similar to that. And at the end of the day, it's only because of God that I'm able to do what I do. It's all glory to Him because it's nothing of me. It's the gifts He's given me, the strength He's given me, it's the revelations He's given me, it's the truth He fills me with, it's forgiveness He gives me. So yeah, bro.
Awesome. On social media, often many people scrolling through the pages, we see this thing. Sometimes people don't really go into a page to see what it's about. They maybe to see one thing, okay, like, click, see the video. For those that haven't heard, can you tell us the full goal and vision of Second Chance Trust, and what are the programs that you guys implement at different institutions, at schools? I know you guys even took it to certain workplaces and that.
Yeah. So basically, Second Chance is all about inspiring, empowering, and educating people with the right skills to make healthy choices. Now, we know that humans in general are going through a difficult time. We're all going through something, especially the youth. There's so much pressure, there's so much anxiety, there's so much different options and avenues to escape from your reality that's available to people. And that's why there's so many different. So we created 3 programs that actually address all those life challenges that we face. We want to give hope to people. We want to strengthen people. We want to give people a new mindset, a new perspective that helps them make different choices. So we got the BLC, which is the basic life choices, which we go into all schools around South Africa and around the world, where we address self-esteem, decision-making, bullying, anxiety, resilience, all those things. We address those in our workshops. We go into the classroom. We do big assembly talks. We do one-on-one counseling sessions after the talks. So we've got the school program. And then we've got the equine program, which is horse therapy. We invite ex-gangsters, gangsters, prostitutes, people that are struggling with depression, corporates. They come to our equine program. It's an 8-week program, once a week for 2 hours. And it's an amazing program. It's how people's lives are transformed through that. And then we've got the World Is Your Stage, which, you know, Blake is a two-time world champion hip-hop dancer. It's a mentorship program. He teaches life skills through the hip-hop. So it's a year program. We choose 3 schools, and we run that out for a whole year. And at the end of the year, they get to perform on TV or on a big stage. The last 75 kids got to perform in front of 65,000 people at the Greenpoint Stadium at the World Rugby Sevens. So that was an amazing time for them, because a lot of them said, this is a dream come true, and that's what we're about.
Wow, amazing, man. You guys speak through a variety. I saw on the page you guys went to speaking to primary school kids. You guys spoke to high school kids. How does it go about? Because obviously there's evolving capacities as they are growing older, and their understanding is different. But obviously challenges in life sort of changes. So how do you go about being adults, you know, being older than these people, but having the knowledge of more or less what they've been through, certain temptations and that? How do you go about the different mindset of approaching these different age groups?
Well, I think it's about knowing your audience, and I think that's where the gift comes in. It's about knowing your audience, knowing what they are struggling with on different levels. You know, we struggle with the same thing, but the levels vary. They shift and change. And I think it's about knowing your audience and how to speak into their stories by changing your language, just changing a few words, using different stories that relate to where they're at. And it's not something you can necessarily teach. It's something that's in you. And I've just always been able to do that. If I speak to grade 5 or I speak to matrics, I'm able to change the way I speak that's relatable to them, even though I'm much older than them, and they're hooked into what I'm saying, and I'm able to help them and inspire them.
Awesome. It's kind of like a gift that you have. Another thing, we've seen the Naked Truth. Get to us about the idea of the Naked Truth. How did the idea spark? So far, I know that there's many more episodes to be uploaded. We've seen Dave Don did it. We've seen actor Jarryd Smith. Speak to us a bit about, you know, the filming process of the Naked Truth, the idea of it. How did the idea spark?
So I think you've seen a bit of the Naked Truth on my own personal profile. It's more about being real. It's about using a platform to be authentic and speak about real things, you know. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep learning how to speak real things and address real issues. And the reason why we wanted to do the Naked Truth was because we wanted to take people's stories and inspire other people. Because, you know, when you share your story, you unconsciously give other people the courage to speak about their story. And like we said at the beginning of this episode, the most important thing I learned to do that helped me overcome my giants was speaking about my struggles. So that's where it's at, bro. That's the most important part.
Awesome. People share their passions in different ways, and they share their stories in different ways. Some do it through song. Blake might do it through dancing. You've done it through spoken words, speaking motivationally, but then you've even transferred into written text, which is okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, like I said, you went to this book, had to die to love. Where did the process come? You know, you've been speaking now, but I need to go, because this story is really intense. It truly shows, you know, your journey from the beginning, from when you were the age of 6 years old up until where you are now. Like you said at the beginning, how you managed to get into all these different drugs, stealing alarms, how the Second Chance Trust was birthed. Why did you think it was so important for you, or what inspired you to take your story and now put it in an actual story?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that just, you know, it sits in your heart. And I've just always been that kind of person that I'm proactive. I adapt. If I get something on my heart, I try it. Even if it doesn't work, I still try it, because I don't want to get to the end of my life and wonder. So I'm not afraid to I don't like the word fail because it doesn't exist, but I'm not afraid to mess up. I'm not afraid of things not working out, because it'll always push you to something new. It'll always push you in the right direction. Just like Thomas Edison. I mean, he tried 1,000 times before he got the light bulb correct. So, you know, that's life. Not everything's going to work out, but it's always going to work in our favor and help us grow.
Awesome. You spoke about something interesting. You said you're not afraid to mess up. And many people don't know, but I know that you've mentioned already. Before you post those motivational videos that we see and we enjoy and that inspires us, you know, for the week, there's often many times you might mess up a word, you fail, even maybe the sermon is maybe a word that's not right, you need to get a new scripture or something or confirm something in the Bible. What makes you want to be so persistent and consistent? Like you said, I think your first video at the beginning of the year was speaking about consistency. What makes you want to be persistent and consistent despite in the midst of maybe messing up?
I think at the end of the day, it's also selfish because I want to be the greatest version of myself. You know, as much as I want to inspire people and change people's lives, if I'm really honest, there's also selfish ambitions. I want to be the greatest speaker I can be. Not necessarily in the world, but that I can be. So I'm always pushing myself to be better. I don't want to settle for mediocrity. So I want to get it right. And remember, we are a visual society. People attach themselves to visuals. If you're not speaking right, if you're messing up 100 words, people aren't going to watch, unfortunately. So you gotta learn your art. You gotta get good at what you do. Just like singers. I mean, if you can't sing, people aren't going to buy your CDs, bro.
Guys, you might not even know about Jarryd has been doing so well with his motivational videos, his spoken word. It sounds like the guy's putting bars. Speaking of bars, he's actually featuring on a song with Michael Bart. How did that feel being now someone that's a motivational speaker and now you're going, you know, with a guy that's been doing so well with his rapping career and now you're making a song with him that's hoping to inspire many?
Yeah, I think these opportunities just come and it's for me, it's always intentional. Like I said to Michael, you know, I want us to do a song that's real and speaks to people. So we're busy with something around toxic relationships. And obviously, I'm not going to rap. I'm going to do a spoken word in the song. But yeah, it's just such a big thing, bro. People are stuck in unhealthy relationships and they're struggling to walk away. So we just want to inspire people and give them the courage and the strength to walk away from those situations and, you know, begin to breathe again. Give their hearts a chance to beat again. So yeah.
You know something, I don't know, I think I'm going to also like some sort of advice because I'm often so good at breaking off toxic relationships. If the person, because some people, it's outwardly toxic, like what they're doing, they're in your face, you can see it. But some people, you can't really see the hidden agenda that they have. So outwardly, they tend to be so friendly, they're checking up on you, but at the end of the day, they're not actually for you, they're against you. And I feel like breaking your relationship with those people, especially me for being someone, I don't like to retaliate against someone that's being so friendly. How do we go about discerning which people is kind of being, you know, they're nice on the outside, but bad on the inside? And how do we go about breaking that relationship off with that people?
I think that there's two answers to that. I don't think there's a quick fix to that because you just got to be vigilant. You got to watch. And time allows that. Time gives you the space to watch behavior. And I think a lot of the times there's an inner voice. There's a thing that tells us, hey, something's not lekker here. And a lot of the times we avoid that discernment. We avoid the Spirit of God speaking to us or, you know, intuition. We say, no, it can't be. And we pursue that relationship and we actually get burnt. So it's about watching people's behavior, giving them space. You know, if they start to do things that aren't healthy, you know, if once is a mistake, but the second time becomes a pattern. And if they're not willing to address that, because you can call them out on it and they can change, but if they're not willing to change, then it becomes technical. But it's hard, I think, for young people to walk away from friendships is one of the toughest things that the next generation is facing because everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to belong somewhere. And the thought of walking away from certain relationships mean you might be alone for a while, and that freaks people out. So they stay stuck in those unhealthy relationships just to be part of something.
Yeah, so true. Second last question that I have: how different is it, or is it not really any difference from being a motivational speaker now on stage in Canberra to going and preparing a sermon for church?
Yeah, I think it's different because the preaching for me is new. I've only been doing it for 2.5, nearly 3 years. I've never been to Bible college. I've never studied anything. It's literally all God teaching me through the power of the Holy Spirit. And every time I preach, I learn something new. So it is different, but God is so faithful and God is so sovereign that before I even knew it, He was preparing me for this through the motivational speaking. He was preparing me when I was doing drama at school in grade 7, but I didn't know it. So He's always 100 steps ahead, but we don't know it. So yeah, I'm just grateful that, there was the preparation through the drama, through the motivational speaking, the life coaching, and I'm just moving into a new season. And I'm really enjoying learning. Every time I get the opportunity to preach, I'm just learning so much. And yeah, the best is yet to come.
Well, from my side, you like stop. You like stop not. This time when I watch you, whether it's the motivational videos, whether it's you preaching, and I share it with my friends, they are really touched. And this I don't know. I think it's hard working or something, but there's always some way when you are preaching or saying a motivational video that is so relevant to what I am experiencing at that moment or to what a friend of mine is experiencing. And before we close, I just want to ask, I know you might not probably know, you do kind of have it figured out. What do you think is next for you? Do you have a certain big image or something that you want to do in the next 5 years? Or are you just taking things as they go?
Yeah, man, I think for me, it's like I said, I think it's just to become the greatest version of myself, and it's to become better every day at being a human, because I also struggle. I mean, there's moments where I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm not happy, I'm anxious, I'm human, but obviously because I've grown so much, I can adapt a lot quicker. I can recognize it a lot faster. I can shift my perspective. I can pull myself out of it. But I think it's to do what I love, is to motivate, it's to inspire, it's to preach. And wherever God wants to take me, that's cool. So that's my goal. Just to serve and empower people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jarryd, from my side. I just want to say thanks also for being here with me. I'm sorry for the lights. They might not irritate you, but they're annoying me. My mom wasn't here to fix them. Moms have the magic hands. But I just want to say thanks for being such an amazing friend, such an amazing mentor, such an amazing preacher, such an amazing motivational speaker, showing us as young men, that it's okay to mess up, it's okay to make mistakes, but as long as you keep on getting back up and striving to the best and continue to work on yourself and to speak about your issues, I appreciate that. I was going to ask you to do something, but my phone has been tripping out, so I don't want the live to shut down. So I'm going to end it, but I just want to wish you best. Continue what you're doing. I'll continue to support, continue to get a whole group of teams behind you to continue to support you in what you do as you continue to touch our lives day by day as we watch the content. So thank you, man. Be blessed.
Right, brother, and may your show continue to grow as well, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, guys. See you guys next week. Yeah, I'm showing next week. I'm not gonna hint immediately, but there's something dope happening next week. Something dope. You'll just see.